We're at the Savoy Hotel in London, where the weights for the 2012 John Smith's Grand National have just been unveiled. As you can see, I've been joined by Nick Watts of the Racing and Football Outlook and George Pumarolo of Betfred. George, we'll start with you first. Have your prices altered since the weights came out?
Yeah, well, I mean, essentially, there was a bit of a move on Junior a couple of weeks ago. Junior was put into 12 to 1, but we just eased him slightly. I mean, he's just got that look of another really competitive national. And with horses, it's no longer, I suppose, the trends race everyone took it for, really. I mean, the last three horses have all carried 11 stone or more, which never used to be the case. So, but interestingly enough, even though good few in the market are carrying 11 stone or more, good few to the top of the market, we still go even money. That's a horse carries 11 stone or more to victory this year.
OK, but why have you eased Junior?
It's never a one-horse race, the National. I mean, you need your fair share of luck and everything. And so we just think that there's a good number of horses. I mean, the horses more at the top of the handicap seem to be given a bit of a chance, synchronised especially. You know, I think he's been given quite a bit of a carrot to go for the race. But this is always the case. So I don't know. I mean, you can see why we've beat him slightly. I'm sure he'll be popular at 14 to 1. But at the same time, you should never be afraid of one horse, especially in the Grand National.
OK, Nick, you're the weights and measures man. You've had just a quick look at these weights. Which one's catching your eye at this moment?
There's a horse of Evan Williams is on 10 stone 10 called Kappa Blue. It's really interesting me. Former Fox Hunters winner. He lost his way, but Evan seems to have gotten back to something near his best this year. Won at Haydock on his comeback. I thought he ran a cracking race in the Welsh National. Completely wrong ground for him. Paul Maloney's looked after him and he still finished third. But it's a lovely big horse. I think he'll take to the fences really well. And I think that's what you're looking for. It's almost more important than weight these days. Is you need a horse to get into that rhythm. And you need to try and find that horse that will jump those fences and enjoy the experience, because you can be as well weighted as you like, but if you don't take to it, you're not going to win. But Kappa Blue is one of those horses I can see really relishing this test. OK, looking at the top weights, you've got Synchronised, Ballard Briggs, Midnight Chase. Any of those do you fancy? Midnight Chase, I'd have to say, would be a doubtful runner. Neil Mulholland's always voiced his opposition to running in this. Synchronised would probably be more likely. He's never appeared to me to be a natural national horse because he's quite small, and I think his jumping is a bit of a concern. Ballard Briggs, you'd say, would definitely go for the race, and it's quite interesting to know that, because I think the weights will go up a maximum of £1, because Ballard Briggs is just one off the top at the moment. So everyone knows where they stand further down the weights and what they could run off on the day in terms of weight carried. And of course, only 82 entries, so literally about half of those are going to get a run. So even for those that are outside the top 40 at the moment, there's plenty of hope that you might get in on the big day.
OK, George, which horses do you expect to receive some support between now and the big race itself?
I think Junior will be popular, and then of course whichever horse I think Ruby Walsh decides to ride nearer the time is going to be very popular. I mean, unlike Tony McCoy, for instance, where you can narrow it down to a handful because he's going to ride for JP McManus. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But Ruby Walsh has got, not only has got the pick of Nichols's two runners, but he's also got the pick of the Willie Mullins contenders. But there's plenty in there. Of course, we've got On His Own, and also the horse he rode last year, which I quite fancy at big price, the Midnight Club. Okay, not really shown a great deal in 2 runs this season. He was brought down on his reappearance and then, well, was beaten odds on basically last time out. But it catches my mind. Go watch last year's race. How he finished 6th, I'll never know, because he was knocked sideways, I think, at Valentine's at the fence afterwards. Ruby did incredibly well to stay on, and he still managed to run on into 6th. He was one of the real fancied horses last year. I think they might have a go in the Gold Cup with him. You know, I think he could be Hedge Hunter all over again, because you saw a few years ago Hedge Hunter. He fell at the last one running a massive race before going on to win at Aintree, and in the meantime he ran a cracker in the Gold Cup. So if the Midnight Club goes down the same route, then well, Black 25s won't be there anymore.
So the Midnight Club is your major fancy then at 25s?
It would be, yeah. I think guaranteed a clear round. I think he's got a great chance of getting in the first 4 at least.
And if we're looking for a big outsider, you know, quite often make the frame at least, where would you be looking?
I think there's one horse that could maybe stay on. I think he might just lack some tactical speed, but he'll jump and he'll stay, and he's got a bit of class about him, and that's Neptune Collonges. I mean, he was taken off his feet last time at Sandown. And OK, fair enough, you know, you can't do that in the Grand National. But he really stayed on to 2nd place and was really running on at the end. And 4 miles might just suit him. And he's one of those carrying over 11 stone. He's got a bit of class about him. At a massive price, he'd be the one for me.
OK, thanks, George. Nick, Neptune Collonges 33 to 1. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. I think Gold Cup's a pass for him now. I think this is the kind of test that he needs these days. He's a very good jumper. You can see he's a bold jumping horse as well, so you could see him going well for a long way. I suppose my mad one at a huge price would be Fair Along. He probably won't win the race, but you wouldn't be surprised if he went round the back for a circuit and a half and then plugged on into 3rd or 4th. That's what he tends to do these days. That's what he did in the Hennessy. I'm not saying he'll win, but if you wanted a mad one at a huge price, then Fair Along. I don't think this is a year for big prices. I think the ones at the top of the market look fairly solid. And like I said, of those, Kappa Blue I like a lot, and I like West End Rocker as well, who won the Beecher Chase in great style back in November, or the end of last year. So they would be my two against the field at this stage.